about something that I think is probably the #1 anxiety-provoking thing for people coming out backpacking in Australia on a working holiday, and that is finding work. It's important, obviously, we all need to live and we want money for doing all the fun stuff we want to do. So I've got together 10 top tips for you in finding work, and I'm hoping that they will help you out. Number one, very important. I'm sorry, I do need my notes for this because there's so much to tell you. Pimp up your CV, or resume as it's sometimes called here. I've got a copy of my one that I used in Australia, and it is different to my English one. I just wanted to show you the basics really. So I'm not saying this is an exhaustive way of doing it, it's just the way I've done it, and I have had success with it, so maybe I've been lucky, but it worked for me. So I always have a little picture in the corner. Hospitality jobs always want a photo or to see you in person, so this one's black and white, but I do have, I did have some colour ones. At the top I've got my name, my mobile number, my email, my nationality, so they know I am a English speaker, and the fact that I've got a full UK driving licence, and also, very important, the date my working holiday expires, so they know I'm not just going to hang around for like a month and then tell them longer and do one. My biggest advice with your resume is keep it as short and sweet as possible. If you can fit it on 1 page, do. If you can't, okay, 2, but try and keep it as short as possible. For references, I just say available on request. If they're interested, they'll ask. Make sure all your contact details are indeed correct. Right phone number, you haven't put your English one or your American or German or whatever. Make sure it's an Australian number and that your email is right as well. On mine, I just have a very brief career overview, very short, so they know the areas I've worked in. I then have my skills, so what I'm good at, whether that's interpersonal communication, any special things like knowledge of first aid, stuff like that. I then have my education and training, which, to be honest, they probably won't pay a huge amount of attention to for the type of jobs you're looking at. And then the important part for most employers is your professional history. So start off with your most recent position first, just a brief description and where it was. And that is literally my CV or resume, but employers don't have time to go through tons and tons of reading paperwork. They want it laid out in front of them. They want to see what you're good at. They want to see where you've worked and the areas that you are skilled in, really. Basically, they want to know what you can bring to them. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, do your research. You have time before you leave to look and think about what areas that you're going to want to work in. Some of the popular ones over here for backpackers are hospitality, construction and labouring, bar work, maybe you want to work in healthcare, what else, farm work. Those are typical backpacker jobs. So think about the area that you're probably most likely to apply to work in and see if there's any additional qualifications or certificates you need. So for example, I've written down here, if you're looking for working in construction or labour, you are going to need a white card. And a white card is basically an induction in Australian sort of law and stuff in terms of construction. It goes through health and safety, the basics of working on a building site. You can do it online for a fee, or you can also do like a course. It's not a whole day, it's usually just a few hours, but you walk away with your white card and then can apply for labouring or construction jobs. If you want bar work, or some cafes or restaurants like you to have it as well, you're going to need what's called an RSA, which is a Responsible Service of Alcohol certificate. This is the most boring thing you will ever do, but it will help you get work. It again costs some money. I did mine online. Certain states require that you go to a in-person in-house course. Again, just like the white card, a few hours, and you walk away with a certificate. So this is my certificate. I evidently went with Arrow Training online. I don't remember that. I can't remember how much I paid, but it wasn't a huge amount, somewhere in the region of $40 maybe. All it says is that me, Hannah Kate Carter, has attained a Provide Responsible Service of Alcohol Unit certificate, the date, and it's signed by them. Usually when you complete the course, they'll email you a PDF and you just print this out and add it to your CV or resume and take it around with you when you're looking for work. If you're looking at working with children, whether it's a healthcare setting, au pair, nursery, whatever, you will probably need a working with children check, which I don't know a huge amount about, so you'll have to go to Google for that one. And similarly, if you're looking at working in healthcare, in a hospital or care home setting, you may need a National Police Certificate or a Department of Health criminal record screen. That's like our old CRB, or I think it's DBS in the UK, but they will require that as well. Also, think about if you're going in healthcare, what vaccinations they're going to want you to have. If you've got proof of them, bring that proof out, get a letter from your GP, whatever. Have it with you, it will help the process. In terms of research, think about the areas you're going to be based in and what industries are popular in those areas. For example, don't go straight into the middle of a city looking for farm work. Look at the suburbs, look at the outer areas. Think about specific things like, so for example in Perth, labour and construction is pretty hot. Further up north you've got the mines, you've got mining jobs. If you're looking for pearling work, which counts for your second year visa, you're going to want to head to Broome. But you're also going to want to check the times of year for these things, because that will make a difference. If you're looking for farm work, there is a website, yes, called the Harvest Trail, and that tells you what crops are in season at what times of the year and where in the country. So go and check that out. I will do another video on farm work and second year visa and all that jazz. I'm trying to keep this as short and sweet as possible for you. Number three. Think outside of the box. So if you're in a city and you are struggling to get hospitality work, you can't get the jobs that everyone else is going for because they're hot jobs, everyone wants them. You need to start thinking a little bit further out. So start looking at rural jobs, things like roadhouses. I'm at a roadhouse at the moment, it's great. I have good amount of hours. I'm not running 2 or 3 jobs at the same time in the city to just make enough to live. The wages are decent. There is some things around me, there's things to do, and I can save here. What more could you want? Some places include food and accommodation. Look further afield. Again, mining, fly in, fly out work. You could get a cleaning job, helping in the kitchens, maybe even mining if you've got some experience in that, I don't know. Au pair work, live in with a family, you don't pay accommodation, you look after the kids, you get a few days off to see the sights as well. That's all really cool. If you're struggling again in the cities, check out sports venues, see what's on at what time of year. Is AFL, the Australian Football League, running? If it is, they're going to need people in like the hospitality companies that run the food and beverages in the stadium. In Domain Stadium in Perth, there's a company called Delaware North, and you can apply online for them. They get back to you super quick. It's not a lot of hours, it may just be a few hours at a weekend, but it might just be enough to get you by while you look for other things. So try and think outside of the box. 4, use your skills. So what did you do at home? What skills have you got? If you're a hairdresser or a mechanic, you are in, my friends. Backpackers are always looking for a cheap haircut and someone to help them look for a car for a road trip or service their vehicle on the cheap. Just print yourself out a little piece of paper with your name, your details, put an ad on Gumtree, go around the hostel, stick it round, you will get money. Obviously, you are a backpacker, be nice, do a reduced cost service for these people, you're helping them out, you're earning money, it's a win-win, and it will just tide you through until you can maybe find something else. So use the skills that you've already got. If you're a carpenter or someone that has DIY skills, maybe ask at your hostel, see if there's anything that needs fixing, putting up. They may pay you for the privilege, and if they don't pay you, they may give you a couple of nights free accommodation. So just use those skills that you have. Number 5, Gumtree is your friend. Gumtree is amazing. There are so many job adverts on there. Get on, have a look. A lot of people apply. You will see like over 1,000 applications on some. You can be a bit clever about it. Go on early morning, the sort of time people get into their office, and put that application up. You want to be one of the first to apply. Get your name in there, get your application in, and get going. Be careful. There are a lot of strange people on Gumtree, and if something looks too good to be true, it probably is. So just be aware that there are people out there that haven't got the best intentions. If you put an advert up for yourself with a picture and you are a female, be prepared to get some interesting responses. I am warning you, it's not nice, it shouldn't happen, but it does. So just be prepared for that. But there is tons of work on Gumtree. I found my first job on Gumtree, and actually, thinking about it, I think I found this Roadhouse job on Gumtree, so make sure you head on over and check it out. What number are we at? This is longer than I wanted. I'm trying to talk fast, but get the information to you. Okay, number 6, I believe. 6. Join up with a job agency. In the major cities, there are job agencies for pretty much everything. You've got hospitality, construction, admin, you name it, you've got an agency. So sign up and get them on the case. Get someone working for you. They will want to find you work, you want work. If you're looking for farm work or rural work, 2 agencies I do recommend are The Job Shop, and there is something called Strawberry Trail, which you can find on Facebook. These are really good, and they have new things coming up all of the time, so check those out. Number 7. Join backpacker groups on Facebook. You can join backpackers in Perth, backpackers in Darwin, backpackers Brisbane, backpackers Cairns, you get the idea. There's a backpackers group for every major city. And on there, there's a lot of trash. There's a lot of funny stuff, there's a lot of helpful info, there's people looking to meet up for road trips, all sorts, but there's also people speaking about jobs and work. You can ask if someone knows of any jobs going in the city that you're in, and also other backpackers sometimes advertise jobs on there that they will be leaving. I've seen this particularly with like au pair jobs, farm work, so check that out, there may be something there. Number 8. Go into places in person. Get off your bum and get moving. I have met so many people in hostels for weeks sitting on their laptops, and you say, oh, how's the job hunt? Yeah, nothing. That's because they apply for 4 jobs a day. They are being very picky, and the rest of the time they spend on Facebook or Twitter or playing games. That will not get you work. You have to be proactive. A job is not going to just come and land in your lap. You have to get out there and go and get it. So you need to go out in the town with your CVs and resumes, spend an entire day going round, go into places, introduce yourself, ask for the manager, speak to the manager, give them your CV, try and be friendly, outgoing. Don't turn up like a scruff bag. You don't have to be in interview clothing, but dress in a way that will impress a potential employer. Try and be friendly, outgoing. Don't be shy. No one's going to employ someone that mumbles and talks down like this. It's not going to happen. So get out there. In regards to this one, pick the right time of day. If you're going into restaurants, cafes, bars, don't pick the busy times. They're not going to have the time or want to speak to you when they've got millions of customers lined up that they're trying to serve. It's not going to be the best time. Similarly, as they're trying to open or close is a no-no. So try and pick the quieter times of day in those industries. Number 9, be persistent. Keep at it. Keep looking, keep applying every day, online, in person. Just keep at it. If you have to go back to the same places and ask if anything's come up, do it. You will have to hand your CV out multiple times, sometimes to the same people. And occasionally you will get employers saying, look, we haven't got anything at the moment, but come back in 2 weeks, we've got a few people leaving around that time and we'll have a chat then. So go back. Don't just think, oh, I've already been there. Keep going. Keep being persistent. And if you're signed up with an agency, keep ringing them as well. If you're ringing every morning and annoying the hell out of them, they're going to want to find you a job. So keep at them too. Number 10, think about the time of year. I touched on this briefly before, but you need to be clever with this one. For example, if you're thinking of looking up north, so Darwin, Kununurra, Broome, anywhere around the Kimberleys, or even Cairns, there is a wet season and the tourist levels drop exponentially during that wet season. So businesses are really cutting back on staff and hours and everything else. You're far less likely to find work in one of those places during the wet season. So think about the seasons and the time of year as to the areas of the country that you're applying to, applying in even. Also think about when the majority of new backpackers arrive in the country. So popular time for people is December or January. It's summer, it's hot, we're escaping the winter from Europe. And where do they come into? They're going to generally fly into the East Coast. They're going to fly into Cairns, Sydney, Melbourne, maybe Brisbane. They're going to be your top spots, particularly Cairns and Melbourne, because people like to go down or up the coast. So these are going to be rammed with people looking for work at that time of year. You may have to think a little bit further out, head more into the country than along the coast, and yeah, just use your brain. Use your brain. Think about it. Be clever. The most important thing I can say to you is don't give up. Whatever you do, don't give up. We've all had moments when we've been looking for work and we're near to tears on our last few dollars, few $100s, whatever. It will happen. You just have to keep at it, keep positive, and keep trying. I hope these tips help. I have another video coming very shortly on 5 things you need to sort out before you work in Australia, and so many other videos as well. So please like, subscribe, stay tuned. All the links below I will put down for my blog, Twitter, Facebook, etc. And I will put down some links for the white card RSA and things, although that is readily available on Google. So until next time, see ya, bye!